There we are. Good morning, everybody. Hello, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, or goodbye, depending on where you are and how over this you are by now. Welcome to the Tuesday morning stream. Joining me today, I have my co-host, Joker. He is okay. He's still not feeling his best. We talked to the vet this morning, and we're gonna try adjusting his meds to see if that helps, and if not, we'll take him back in. He's pretty sleepy, so he's probably just gonna chill there on camera, and we may turn the camera off later in the stream, because about an hour and a half from now or so, he's gonna need some more meds. But for now, he can just kind of chill, kind of blink. He's in his comfy bed, so poor pupper. I know my heart breaks every time I look at him because he's just not himself yet, and I'm hoping that he picks up. Hopefully, they've told us to take him off his pain meds now and see if that makes him any hungrier or less lethargic, because his anti-inflammatories should have helped his back feel better. Hopefully, we still don't know quite what's up with him, so hopefully we find out soon. For today's stream, let's see. Artemisia, Lady Artemisia, thank you very much for the 10-month resub, sending many hugs to sweet little Joker. And Tofu Kitty Cat, thank you very much for the 3-month resub. Poor baby boy. He's my little muffin. We've been feeding him. He doesn't really want to eat much, partly because he's not feeling well, and then I think the meds are making him a bit nauseous. Deshaun, thanks for the 8-month resub. So we tried wet food. The vet doesn't want him chewing any hard food because that could hurt his poor little bones. So we tried wet food, and he was into that for a day, and then he didn't really want to anymore. So then we were like mixing the wet food with peanut butter into like a weird paste, and then he would look at that for a bit. And then he didn't really want that much of that. So now we've tried some baby food. We picked up some baby food for him, and that's been going okay, although he did get it all over his face. I wiped him down before the stream, but he's still a little bit stained. And then if that gives out and he wants something else, because he does seem to value variety, then we also picked up some plain canned pumpkin that I've been told is a good thing to try too. So hopefully we just need to get him to eat enough for his meds to not make him sick. Oh man, arthritis maybe? We don't really know. It happened very suddenly, but nothing really happened to him. He could have hurt his back jumping off of something, which sounds unlikely because he's been doing that his whole life, but it could have happened. He could have landed weird and we just didn't notice. The x-ray didn't turn anything up, so he doesn't have anything broken. We're just trying to figure out what's up with him. Poor baby animals or family, makes it hard when they're sick. Hope he feels better soon. Yeah, so today I want to do a camping stream for the Elusive Quickhoof, because Tuesdays are for mount runs, but as you may have seen from last week, or I just posted the edited VoD to YouTube, we got our Hellfire Citadel mount, and then we got the Risen Mare from the Island Expedition cache, and then we got the Black Serpent of N'Zoth, which admittedly was not a drop mount, but we finished the achievement for that. And I say we because we all collectively were in this emotionally together. So last week was a big week, and now we're kind of out of Warlords raids. At some point I do want to mess around and experiment with Legion dungeons. I want to go back into Kara and see what that feels like, at least on a couple characters, maybe not on all 10. I think that's still going to be pretty gross on a freshly geared, like under-geared character, but we'll see. Before I head out and talk a little bit more about the Elusive Quickhoof farm, I have one weekly cache to open this week. I don't think I did any dungeons last week. I don't remember doing any Mythic Plus on any of my characters, but you know what I did do was a little snippet of PvP. So I should have a 460, 465, I think, piece in here, and I think it's corrupted unless it's a Azurite. I'm not quite sure. We'll see what we get. Hope you, Mr. Nutty, you're doing good. Sick animals can be hard on everyone. I think everyone's a little stressed for a variety of reasons, and we're all just trying to keep it chill for the dog. Trickstrex, thank you for the 2-month resub. Take my sub as a get well gift to Joker. Chris Boffle, thanks for the bits. Is the water elemental from Jaina still a for sure drop, or was it always just a chance? So the water elemental from Mythic Jaina, there are guaranteed 2 that will drop every time you kill it, but it's 2 within a raid group of like what, 20? So who gets those 2 is still up to chance. When BFA ends, either in the pre-patch or when Shadowlands officially launches, one of those 2, it will then become a chance, but for now it's still guaranteed. Alright, let's open this thing. How many cats have you had? Just the one. The cat that I have now is the only cat I have ever, well, had. Let's see, what did we get? Ooh. So it's a 460 emblem. It's an on-use trinket that gives you a big extra maximum health cushion. That might be useful for me, if only because I, with my lack of versatility and slightly low item level, am incredibly squishy right now in Arena. But I would have to take off either my safeguard or this 440 badge. I might switch it out for the badge. We'll see. But it's something. It's not really... I wish I had gotten something less ambiguous, but you know, you take what you can get. Also, 1100 echoes, so that should help next time there's something that I need to buy. Of course, I'm too late for the Versa, but apparently I want like Haste Master anyways. There is a haste proc, I believe. Racing Heart is on the vendor this week. It's like 7800 echoes or something for a rank 3 haste proc corruption. I don't know if I want that, but it is an option. Maru, thank you for the 12-month resub. What did you get me for our 1-year anniversary? I made some cookies. I just didn't give you any, and we're eating them in your honor. I've got chocolate chip cookies in the freezer. So today, I'm doing I want to camp this Elusive Quickhoof, and I am undecided about the best way to do that. There's 2 main options here. So for some background, the Elusive Quickhoof is an alpaca mount. I will show you that. Give you the whole rundown. Warm all of a sudden. Oh, man. Let's see. Reputation? What reputation? I got lucky. Only had to wait 2 hours for the Quickhoof. I'm hoping that we get similarly lucky today. On one hand, we will potentially have help from the stream. But on the other hand, I really only have the 2 hours. So if it doesn't happen, this very well could be a stream where we just sit and talk and nothing happens. You know, like most of my streams. So the Elusive Quickhoof is an alpaca mount that can rarely spawn in VoD. It's a black colored alpaca, kind of like a dark gray with like a nice cute saddle. It is the only alpaca I do not yet have. And then this over here, this is kind of the spawn point. So it can spawn around the hideaway. It can spawn in the big trail that goes up to the temple. It can also spawn in the archaeology site. There's a spot on the terrace and then through these mountains as well. So 2 to 6 hours spawn time is the reported spawn time. So the first thing that we're going to need is a target macro, because this one does not offer a daily quest or anything like that. Right now my find macro has /tar space Elusive Quickhoof, so if I spam that macro, that will target it, which is important to know when you found it. So that's step 1. When you do find the Elusive Quickhoof, you will need to feed it Seaside Leafy Greens mix. Now you can purchase that if you find anybody with a Brutosaur up. The Tortolan vendor on the Brutosaur does sell Seaside Leafy Greens mix. Alternatively, there are Tortolan vendors in and around Borealis and Desarlor. I did a video that shows all of this with like vendor locations and stuff. One of the Tortolan vendors for Borealis, at least, can be found over way down this way. I am fairly certain. Yeah, way up here. Scrollmaster Euro up here. Just kind of near the island expedition thing on the 2nd level. He'll sell it to you as well if you're looking for some. I've been carrying around this stack of 5 since like 8.3. So that's all you do. You fly around the spawn points, you spam your target macro. When it spawns, you feed it the greens, you get them out. However, there are 2 main ways that we can do this as a group. One, we could put together a raid group, and with a raid group, we can camp people on all of these various spawn points so that if it spawns on any of them, we know. However, it's possible that somebody is camping it outside of the group on their own realm, and if they find it, we want to be able to find out that they've found it so that we can disband our group and join their group, because you want them to be the group former so that you end up on their realm, and what else? So we can do it in a group, or we can all do it solo respectively. I'm still figuring out what the best way would it be for you guys to tell me when you have it up, because it only stays up for a couple of minutes, like 3 to 5 minutes I've heard is the average uptime. So once it spawns, you want to be quick about it. Maybe I can disable, I have whispers turned off right now, so people whispering my character, it won't come through. I have an add-on that suppresses them, just so that I don't cry every time I log on and feel like, oh no, I don't know what to say to people. Missed the dark spear shot from Marksman, have a good hunt, thought it was realm specific. So it is, well, realm or phase or shard or whatever have you. So people on their own realms camping various spots would give us more chances. We would just need to know. And I guess another thing that you can do is you can look in the custom for the Elusive Quickhoof, and we can keep an eye on this. And anybody, anytime a group gets listed by somebody watching the stream or otherwise, that will also help. So where do I want to camp is the first thing. And second thing is, do I want to start a raid group? Because we can do this in a raid group. Technically, we could do a raid group. We could just have the whole group hang out. And then within 6 hours, it should spawn. I don't know. Discord group on different servers? I don't want to set up anything new. Stay there for about 7 minutes each time, have people in war mode on and off so you have the ultimate lookout situation. Yeah, but then if it spawns in war mode on, would I not have to go back to Stormwind and then turn war mode on and then get all the way back out here and then be like panicking the entire time as to whether or not it's like up? I think I'm just gonna well, should I just list a war mode off camping group so we can at least put people on the various spots and then we can just kind of hang out and wait, and if anybody gets it, we can try to get there? Can't believe it, I finally caught you on stream. What's up, Last Gang? How you doing? Yeah, being on EU will I mean, you can still camp along with us, but you will be unable to share it with any of your North American brethren, although you can share it with your European brethren. Let's see. Look up alpaca rather than elusive. That's usually what they name their group. Well, the thing is, I just don't want too much false, like, friendly alpaca groups are going to be up constantly. Those are much easier to find. That has like a 5-minute spawn time, so that one's not such a big deal, and I guess it's fine. But somebody could have named it Elusive Quickhoof, which is more accurate, and then the alpaca term wouldn't bring it up. It's just a question of what people actually name their group and how good they are at spelling. So, spots, you can pull up a Wowhead map. This is my map. I made this one back when I was making the video. So you've got a spot over by the temple, you've got a spot by the hideaway, you've got one over here, and then a couple little ones through the middle. Let's see. Get it up by way of the big flower quest is. War mode can be turned off and in. Not sure there's an alliance in there, though. There is an alliance in, I think, up somewhere, but, I don't really want to be camping on stream in war mode because that's just kind of asking for trouble. I've generally had better luck with just my life when I keep war mode off when I am streaming. Finally stopped procrastinating on the National Crab achievement. Farmed it hard, finished all the rares. Just need 10 more days of follower dailies and I get the crab. Nice. Is the Gazaruki summoning stone still available as a drop in the Barrens? I wish I could help you. I've never heard of that. The most annoying thing about the Quickhoof raid group, friendly alpaca people join to get confused. Let's see. I am gonna... Here, well, we'll start a group. And this will just be a camping group, so we don't necessarily have a spawn up, we're just waiting for a spawn. But if anybody gets it up, we may or may not be able to get there in time. I assume that the strategy is if somebody else gets the group up, they list one, they post about it loudly and a lot in stream chat, and then we disband our group or we just all leave and do our best to join the active one. But until then, we can kind of camp it collectively. I don't see a problem with that. A lot of spawns in the road in the south. That's where it spawned for me. I'm not sure that has multiple... Like, I think I want to camp here because, one, this is just a place I like hanging out, and secondly, there's a lot of herb spots here, so I could actually do some herbing while I wait. Here, let's start a group. We're going to call this Elusive Quickhoof Camp. I'm going to say not spawned, war mode off. Not spawned. Let's say just waiting. Just camping. So people understand that we're not, we don't have a spawn, although I imagine there's still going to be some amount of confusion. So I can do this as a raid group. I don't see any reason why we can't have various people camping. If you want a refresh of the spawn points, you can always look up the Elusive Quickhoof on Wowhead. They have a map on that page that has all of the pings there as well. So I'm just going to kind of probably get onto my lumber extractor, to be honest. Continue mashing my macro. I have it on my thumb button, so I'm just pressing that every couple of seconds. You can also add to your targeting macros if you like. You can add, there's a script line that you can do that will set the target marker of it so that it's easier to see and locate where it actually is once you have a target. Of course, you can also track target on your mini-map, and that should help you as well, but it can be, I don't know, it just feels a little more secure sometimes to have it as a Set raid marker. So let me go figure out what that script is. Set raid marker macro. I guess one thing I could do is I can look in my macros. I have one that's just the skull, so I could just take that. Take this /script set raid target icon bracket comma etc. So we're just going to copy that, and then we're going to go into my find macro, and then we're going to save that. So that button should try to target the elusive Quickhoof, and should it target it, then put a skull marker on it. Curious, it will put a skull marker on anything else I have targeted, so I should untarget that and not target anything otherwise. Alright, so ideally we want to spread between the various spawn points. I will do my best over here on this side. There is another, you want somebody up at the hideaway, 1 or 2 people over by where that Flower World quest is, and then Terrace, the Big Pit, and a little bit south of the Big Pit are the main spots there. I have not settled in to actually try for this since it came out. It's one of those things that's just been on my list for a while, so I'm glad that stream gives me kind of a good excuse to hang out and just kind of wait for it. I'll see. I think I can fairly, as long as I'm on the right track, I think I can fairly mindlessly just kind of pad up and down without doing anything. The only problem with this is that while we are in a group, we cannot be searching the group finder for available groups. You got to kind of pick your poison there. You got to either hope that other people will find it and enlist, or you have to, camp it collectively and hope that that goes well for you. If you do the multi-server raid group, be sure to number them, otherwise denote them so you can switch to one more efficiently. You've lost me. You've lost me big time. Multi-server raid groups. How do you have one raid group spread across multiple servers at one time? Unless you mean additional servers. Or mode off and title. It's in the description. I guess I can put it in the title as well. Good morning, Hazel. You inspired me to start streaming. Currently saving up for equipment. Very nice. I hope you have an exciting experience. Good luck with the camp. Bit impartial with rare spawns. The Quickhoof is fairly fun to get, shareable by a large group, as well as it doesn't despawn too fast. I do appreciate how it's shareable. I don't think I would do this kind of camp for like the, I wouldn't do a camp like this for the Kodo mount, because I think that's one. Can multiple people? No, maybe multiple people can share the Kodo mount, but there are rares that, it's either tricky to share it or it's just not very naturally shareable, whereas this one you can't like accidentally despawn it for the entire group. It's pretty much up until it's not up anymore. But at least in the meantime, we can be collecting some Akunda's Bite. Although I should make sure I'm not getting lured too far off of my camping stretch by the beautiful polka dots. Do you know a way to speed up or get more experience from your followers apart from the 3 dailies? There's a few things you can do. The biggest, easiest one is you want to be getting your Reef Walker bark at least once a week. You will get a guaranteed drop from one of the Coral Reef Ancients. The easiest one to get to spawn is Oronu. He spawns on the very, very eastern side of the map. You can spawn him by just having that little ghostly hippogriff summoned and then walking near him, and that will activate him. Once a week, you'll get a guaranteed drop of Reef Walker bark. I think you can get more, but they're less likely after that, and that will give experience to all 3 of your followers when you turn it in. There are other items like that, including the, Naga deployment orders is another one, I think, and you can get those sometimes from the Murloc vendor, so it's worth looking through a Murloc vendor guide to figure out what those are called when they do happen. You can... what else? There's items that can randomly, occasionally drop that give experience to a specific follower. I know when I was killing those Sky Ray things in an effort to get one of the rare ones to spawn. I don't know if it worked, but it helped. When farming the Sky Ray things, it dropped me Fathom Ray Fin, I think, and that gave experience with one of them directly. So they all have items like that can drop. I don't know if they're worth farming directly, but there is more you can do. However, the easiest, best bang for your buck, time for your money, money for your time, I'm saying words that don't matter anymore, is just doing your 3 dailies. That's where your diminishing returns hits. You can do more effort, and I would definitely at least get the bark once a week, and then check the Murloc vendor every day with the cloak on to check the hidden item to see if you can get those orders. It's like a encrusted tome or something. I don't remember the exact name of the item, but that one's worth getting because that's even more experience with each of your followers. Kodo is a one and done. Only one person can get the Kodo. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't do that one on stream then. I would feel bad. I would feel bad if I took it from somebody, and I would feel bad if somebody took it from me. And that's the kind of thing that you just need to farm like alone late at night and just hope that nobody knows you, because you kind of got to be selfish and just go for it. Also created my first Shadow Priest. Loving it so far. Nice. Is it an add-on that you use to track your attempts while mount farming? It is. It's called Rarity. Let's see. Good morning. Love Rarity. Hello, Miss Hazel. Are you planning to level any more tunes before Shadowlands? Maybe. I went pretty hard when the experience buff first came out, and I'm sort of taking a step back from it now and focusing a little bit more on Assault daily rep, as well as just kind of getting some echoes, getting some corruptions, farming that Wicked Swarmer. So I'm doing a little bit more endgame stuff, a little bit less alt leveling. I think I probably will try to at least finish that human priest, just in case I do decide I'd like to play human rather than gnome, and don't want a race change because that's just not my style. But I don't know. Now that the experience buff is not going away anytime soon, I feel much less pressure to do it right away. And even if I do somehow put it off all the way until Shadowlands after the pre-patch with the level changes, I imagine it won't be that bad to do. Anonymous Cheer, thank you very much for the bits. Do you like horror movies and books? Books, yes. Movies, no. I can't handle movies. I do not care for jump scares. I do not care for cheap tension. I do not care for well done tension. I do not want to be tense. I am tense enough already. I'm good. I don't like horror movies. What I do is I am interested often in the premise of horror movies, especially if they're more clever thrillers as opposed to just straight up, scary monsters. So I will read summaries and reviews of those movies to both figure out what happened so I can think about it, but I won't actually sit down and watch it front to back. Books more so, although I haven't read any in a while. I was a bit of a Stephen King fan when I was younger, and I also read all of the published Lovecraft stories, but I haven't gone back to them for a while. And honestly, one or two of the Stephen King books kind of messed me up. I don't think I'm ever going to be the same again after having read Misery, and I'm a little bit afraid of having reading another one of those scenarios or twists or whatever that you just can't get out of your head for the rest of your life. I'm good. So I wouldn't say I read happy things now, but I don't seek out trauma. Is Joker doing better now? He's about the same. We talked to the vet this morning, and we're gonna switch things up a little bit to see if he does any better off of his pain meds, to see if that makes him any more perky and hungry. And if not, we can take him back in and see if they can figure anything else out. He's not, I wouldn't say he's better, but he's not significantly worse. He hasn't turned up any new symptoms. Pro reading horror movie Wikipedia pages. That's me. I actually walked out of a horror movie once as a young adult. I went on a date, and we went to see a movie, and they're like, hey, there's this horror movie out. Do you want to see this? And I'm like, sure, I'm brave. And I wasn't. And I had to leave. We just left and then went and got dinner instead. I still feel kind of bad about that one. So now I'm upfront about it. Now I'm very honest. I know I can't sit through that, and I'm just not interested. I don't even remember what kind of movie it was. I don't think it was one of those good horror movies that has a lasting legacy or a cult following. Goblin #1 for Shadow. Don't watch Coochie or Pet Cemetery. Alexander, thank you very much for the 6-month resub. Stream and birthday cake seemed like a pretty good quarantine birthday to me. Happy birthday. I was confused for a moment. I was thinking back to my baking streams. We did make a birthday cake, but it was last year. It's been a while. Happy birthday. Got my light forged yesterday with DK after only 15 hours played. Dang, that's pretty fast. What mount is that? I am flying around presently on the mechanized lumber extractor, which is the mech mount that you get for collecting toys. I don't remember how many toys. Some. More than 100 and less than 400. Somebody will know. I believe the achievement is called Remember to Share. It's nice though because it does the same thing that the Sky Golem does, which is allow you to pick herbs while mounted. However, it is a slightly different color so that everybody can know that you are a hipster. BH Rod, thank you for the 12-month resub. Thanks for the 1 year of awesome Twitch streams. I'm still can't believe that we made it to a year and that I've kept any subs for that long. It's still a little bit wild. Husky breeds avoid eating. It's good to hear it's not getting any worse. Hope everything goes well. Me too. Me too. I've been jinxing it a little bit by talking to the cat and the fish and all, like, all right, you guys better keep your butts together. one crisis at a time. I will accept one at a time, and any more than that, and it's just too much. So just you know, eat your food, drink your water, and take nice naps, and be good, and everything will be fine. I've gone too far. I need to curve back around and go back down the path. Some birthday cake flavored Halo top to celebrate. What's that? I did that on one of my first dates with my husband. I wanted to see Showgirls because I thought it was about dancers. It was not. Got up and left, went to dinner early. That's a good show of a date, though, that's not going to get too disgruntled at you for that. I feel like that's a fairly, you know, harmless mistake to make, to overestimate your own bravery. And it's a good sport if they'd rather hang out with you than watch the movie. It's a Sky Golem, but slightly less mainstream, right? I would be on board if they basically gutted the Sky Golem and the Lumber Extractor so they couldn't do the herb thing anymore and added it instead to a mount equipment, the same way that they did with the Water Striders, because it's the same thing I feel with the Water Strider. Like, I was really sick of having to ride those all the time just to walk on water, and then they added the mount equipment, and then I was able to ride all kinds of mounts. But anytime I'm on an herbalism character, I still feel like I should be on this thing so that I can pick herbs without getting off of it. It's the same scenario. I think that they are probably reticent to make that change because of how poorly received the last one was. If anybody remembers Water Strider Gate, that was the biggest meltdown I've ever, well, not the big, I've seen some pretty big meltdowns, but that was a, in my opinion, disproportionately big meltdown over a relatively non-issue. People just don't want to feel like something's being taken away from them, especially when they put in work to get something, because it kind of erodes the trust of, you're going to ask me to grind this crazy thing. I trust that it will continue to offer what I was promised when I started to grind for it. And that I do understand. I just hate riding this thing and would love to ride anything else. And to some extent, I will sometimes just go ahead and buy the Monal Hardened Stirrups. Let's see. Monal. They're going for, let's see, 300 gold, and that gives you 2 hours of pretending that they've made that change, because then you can interact with objects while mounted on any mount that you like. Kind of worth it, honestly. I'm, you know, just budgeted against doing like a gold emissary or something like that. Why do I not remember this part of Vol'dun at all? If you're Alliance don't really go this far much. Horde do a whole bunch of quests around here around the Temple of Akunda, talking about like the memory thing. Alliance don't really mess with it very much, so on my Alliance characters, I only ever really came out here. You know what? I am buying those stirrups. To heck with it. I'm living my life. Set that as favorite too. Here, I'll buy 3 of them. That's something I often do for... I'll often buy stirrups for jelly farming or gather leveling, because it will also allow you to pick ore, to mine ore while mounted, which is kind of nice. Although, of course, you can only have 1 glove enchant on at a time, so most of the time something will come fight you before you get your mine finished. Have you ever played a shaman? I've played a shaman. I've played more shaman than I have some other classes. Enhancement was kind of fun. Ellie is fine, although I feel about Ellie much the same way I feel about Balanced Druid, in that it's neat, it's just not my cup of tea. I don't connect with the class fantasy all that much. Elements is a little too, I don't know. Maybe I'm just, you know, oh, I can't use that mailbox. PTSD from my tweenage anime watching days. Let's see. Not that the anime was bad, but I was. I don't want to remember myself back then. Elena Ray, thank you very much for the 7-month resub. Appreciate it. Didn't play Alliance and BFA yet. Make all my druids my weeders so I don't have to worry about the shredder. Yeah, I end up having herbalism on pretty much every character that I play because if I'm out in the world questing or leveling or even doing world quests, I want to be able to pick any herb that I walk by. For some reason, ore doesn't produce that same kind of FOMO in me, but herbs, I can't just walk by an anchorweed and not have herbalism. And I see them. I mean, let's not get too cocky. Of course I need the markers on my map, but I think most people, they're pretty neon. They're not too tough to pick out from a distance. You notice anchorweed when you're on a non-herbalist, and that hurts me. And often I'm not even making good use of that second profession slot. On most of my alts, I am too lazy to fully set them up to craft stuff or indeed remember who has what and why I should use it. So most of the characters have at least one, kind of freebie crafting slot, and I tend to use that for herbalism. So I end up on the lumber extractor all the time. Hey, Hazel Sub Smurf Lord, how are you doing? What kind of anime did you like? I was 13, so let's keep that in mind. I was big into Naruto. I was big into... what else did I watch? Of course, I watched Death Note, and I rewatched that one later. My friends were into Bleach, and I thought that was really boring. It was, way too long, although as a Naruto fan, I don't know who I was to talk. I liked, the niche ones. Not niche, but there were a couple of, band kid-centered ones. There was one in particular that had a green-haired boy that played a trumpet, and I remember I cosplayed him at an anime convention because I played the trumpet. So I got myself a short green wig and the vest and everything, and then played a green-haired boy with a trumpet at a convention, and they let me play the trumpet around the center. It was very strange. Growing up is weird. What else did I watch? I don't even remember the name of that one, honestly. Demon Slayer Excel Saga. High Mountain's amazing. You feel really big, though. Step up full para all the time. You watch Clannad? No. It's been a long time since I've watched any anime, and I watched more than that. What else? I liked Oran a lot when I was 13. I enjoyed that one quite a bit. What else did I don't know. It's been a long time. No, I've never seen One Piece. Figured you were wins. Nah, brass. Brass for days. I still have some extra skin on my upper lip, right around where my aperture is, and I think that my lips will be shaped like that forever. Even though the muscles are all gone, it's like a lip callus. You only really notice it when you're using a big magnification mirror and you're trying to put on your lipstick, and you're like, huh, that's never going away, is it? It's been 10 years. And that's fine. I would rather keep that as a memento of what once was, and just in case I ever want to play again, maybe it'll come in handy. Killed Ishak at the 4 Winds, no mount. Hey, you found him up, though. That's a start. I know that doesn't help right now, but I flew over to a spawn point yesterday and was very confused because I was like, hey. Well, I wasn't confused. What am I trying to say? I flew over to the spawn point for the first time yesterday because I never get that far south, right? I never have any reason to be that far down in Uldum. And I'm like, doesn't this guy drop him out? He does drop him out. So I flew over and I'm like, I wonder where he spawns. And I flew to the spawn point and I'm like, huh, he probably spawns here. And then I left and I've never been back. I wonder which mount I should be riding around today. Now that I have my stirrups on, I could really ride anything. General Pillage, thank you very much for the brand new sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Oran's adorable. I rewatched it last year because it was on Netflix and I was what was I doing? I was either sick or I think I was shuffling linen. I think I had bought 20,000 Tidespray linen and I was shuffling it into enchanting mats. And I just needed something that was 20 to 30 minutes long to put on a Netflix that I'd seen before so I could follow it, even though I was kind of half paying attention. So I did a rewatch of Oran, and it's really funny whenever you go back and you rewatch the stuff that you really liked either as a kid or as a young teenager, and you don't connect with it in the same way, and you see a lot of stuff you missed before. Megan Pie, thank you for the 7-month resub. Cheery wave. Hello. State are you living in? We're in Oregon presently. How do you herb while on a mount? There is a consumable item you can get called Monal Hardened Stirrups that blacksmiths can make, and it gives you 2 hours of interacting with objects while looted. So it'll let you herb, it will let you mine, it would let you skin, I imagine. Also good for questing. You can pretend that you're a druid and fly around sniping quest objectives and making everybody mad at you. I'm gonna leave that herb alone. Or on Fruits Basket, such comfort rewatches for me. I never watched Fruits Basket at the time. My friends did. I want to go to Oregon. It's nice here. Saying support from Pradmore. Appreciate the content. Thank you. Unless you're a blacksmith, and then it's a big ol' 8-hour buff. I'm jealous. That does sound really good. It's, of course there are some... Of course there are some... I was going somewhere with that. The thought that I had was about how profession bonuses, such as extra duration on saddles, and not even the extra duration on them, but mostly just the effectiveness of those consumables, seems tied to expansions, right? Like, we have certain buffs like the herb enchant to gloves that is a BFA thing, and after BFA, that's not going to be a glove enchant anymore, although, like, that's a BFA glove enchant, but we're getting something else instead. They'll kind of cycle through, but I am really jealous of that blacksmithing one. That's what I was trying to say. I don't know why, but Spy Kids hits different. I think it would be fun to go back and rewatch some of those, like, really cheesy, like, live-action kids movies from the day, like, Shark Boy and Lava Girl and Spy Kids, that kind of thing. Or, I remember, Freaky Friday with, what was it, Lindsay Lohan and, I forget the other actress's name. She's very famous, but, I watched that in theaters. I went and saw that in theaters. I've only seen, I think I could count the movies that I saw in theaters as a kid on 2 hands. I didn't go very often at all. I saw the third Harry Potter. I saw that one. There were not very many. And I was on holiday with my sister. Our aunt had taken us to Edmonton to go shopping at the West Edmonton Mall, and there was a movie theater in the mall. We went and saw Freaky Friday. Jamie Lee Curtis, that's what her name was. It would be fun to watch those again. Alpaca hunting. Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis still holds up okay. I don't remember much of anything about that movie except for the soundtrack and, like, the plaid skirts. I think we're finally far enough away from, like, early 2000s fashion, you know? We're a full decade between us and then 2000 to 2010 that you can look back on the fashions of those days and be like, oh no, that wasn't just me being cringy and teenage. That was, like, actually a different time by now. We wear very different clothes, and it's funny to see those things reflected in movies and music videos and TV shows of the day, and it kind of makes me feel better, because sometimes you look back at photos of yourself or just remember things you wore and you're like, wow, that was awful, but then you, like, look at, you know, a music video from the same time period and you're like, oh no, that's just what we wore back then. It was okay at the time, it's just not okay anymore. 90s were 10 years ago, changed my mind. Calendar might be able to do it for you. I Will Ever Preserve Spy Kids is a great movie in my head, knowing full well if I ever watched it again, I would cringe into the ground. Some of the Freaky Friday plot is borderline creepy, like Back to the Future. Watched Freaky Friday a couple years ago on a sick day. It was great even at 30. I mean, it's one of those, I imagine that, I know Mean Girls is like a yearly rewatch for some people, and I will stand by that. I imagine it would fit under a similar category. I don't watch a lot of movies, though. I talk about rewatching movies all the time. I am dying to pick up, like, at least 1 month of Disney Plus sub just so that I can rewatch all my favorite Disney movies, but, like, I'm not gonna do it. There's no time in my day where I'm like, you know what, it's time to watch a movie. If I have free time, I usually want to either just, like, watch YouTube videos and play WoW/Hearthstone, or maybe put a K-drama on Netflix, and even that is sometimes too much commitment for me. Sitting down for like 90 minutes to 2 hours to watch a movie, it better be a good movie, and I better be in the right mood for it. Lemony Snicket? I don't know if I saw, I think I did see the TV show of the series of unfortunate events. I had the books, though. I loved those books as a kid. I still think those are really good children's books because they're not, I don't know, too cheesy. I mean, they're cheesy, but like in a fun way and in a way that doesn't seem like it's pandering to you too much. I remember as a kid, I didn't want things that were trying to be cute because it just felt demeaning. You know, I knew I was a child, but I was like sick of everybody telling me that I was a child, and I just wanted things that were like, you know, that you felt like you were in on the joke for. So I feel like the Lemony Snicket books were really good for that. Love Mean Girls. Have you seen the sequel? I refuse to watch it. I have not seen the sequel. I heard there's a decent Broadway show, though. Want to turn on Disney Plus, watch the Disney Channel original movies I loved as a kid. I don't think I ever saw any of those. A little of a 70s kid. Series of unfortunate events books are so good. My mom is a 5th grade teacher, gets to see kids discover them every year. I'm jealous. Yeah, I have no particular inclination to be a parent. But if I ever was a parent, I feel like that would be one of the more exciting parts, is seeing if they like the books you liked when you were a kid, which I guess, you know, all parents try to do that, and it's kind of a lost cause sometimes, because by the time you have kids, it's been a while since you were a kid, and there's like newer, cooler stuff, and they probably are just going to want to like put their VR goggles on and go play Space Slime. But, you know, just in the case, you know, watching your offspring discover Harry Potter for the first time has to be magical, because I feel like that's the next best thing that you can do over just going back in time and being a kid again yourself. I don't think that's a good reason to be a parent, which is why I'm not doing it. But as existing parents, I imagine there has to be something good there. Go play Space Slime. I love Space Slime. The sequel's out Q1 2021. You know what the name Space Slime reminds me of? Is my favorite Neopets minigame. Big Neopets kid over here. My favorite Neopets minigame was Evil Fuzzles from Beyond the Stars. It was, you're in like a little spaceship, and basically it's like a, what would you even call it? Not really a shooter. You shoot the fuzzles by clicking on them. But, you know, as you complete levels, you're researching through a tech tree to give yourself upgrades. You know, some of them come fast. There's like a little bit of reaction time too there, but it's just basically like a shooty point and click thing. I don't know. But I played a lot of that. That was one of my favorite Neopets things. Ho ho ho, my middle school obsession. Neopets was WoW for me before there was WoW for me. Although I imagine they were out at the same time. I just didn't discover WoW until later. I didn't get into WoW until like 2008, 2009 Wrath era. So before that, I was big into Neopets, which at the time, I feel like, I know Neopets hasn't really changed that much, and it's still largely browser refresh based, which is kind of interesting. But at the time, you know, to do anything on Neopets, you're refreshing the page, right? You like click a thing, refresh the page, and navigating around the world is just navigating to different pages. And it was all very page reload based. And at the time I was playing on a Windows 97 computer with like a big brick monitor. Not because it was that long ago, but just because, you know, this was the second computer that was downstairs and it was old. And refreshing pages would sometimes take a couple of minutes. I remember I would take a book or like an Archie comic or something downstairs with me to that computer room, so that if the page got stuck, because I learned from experience that trying to reload a page that wasn't reloading at the time, it wouldn't help. It would just make it worse. Ooh, look at all these people collecting all this stuff. So I would bring a book down, so in case the page got hung up and I needed to give it more time to reload, I would like read for a bit while waiting for my Neopets reload to go through. Anonymous Gifter, thank you very much for the gift subs. Congrats to everyone who got one, Smurf Lord included. From your previous message, 70s baby Smurf Lord, although I won't use that forever, I promise. Hufflepuff for me, Hufflepuff for the win. I too am a Hufflepuff. Must mean Windows 98. Yeah, that might be what I mean. Because the upstairs computer definitely had XP, and it also had still a square ratio, but one of the thinner monitors. It wasn't like a big tube monitor. And I remember thinking that was like lit. Yeah, Windows, well, was it 98? Yeah, there was no Windows 97, you're right. It wasn't 95. What was it, 95, 98, and then XP, or am I thinking of something else? It's been a while. It's a fun little website, wish they did more with the IP. Haven't played it in years, but would have loved a full-fledged game. There is some weirdness. I've seen some investigative YouTube videos about like the history of Neopets and the weirdness that went on there, because they like leaned really hard into advertising. Like, remember there was a little McDonald's store that you can go buy McBurgers or I don't know, whatever, for your Neopets like in the game and stuff like that. And I remember they made those little plushies that had codes on them, but I never got any of that. I was allowed to play online games as long as it didn't cost any actual money. 95, 98, ME, and XP. Yeah, we skipped right over ME. 2000. Oh, we might have had Windows 2000 at some point. At least it wasn't Windows 2000, the dreaded ME. I don't even remember Windows ME. Plan to do a hen for my best friend based on Harry Potter, all dressed up according to our house. Fun. Millennium, XP, Vista, 7, 8, and 10. Yeah, I remember when Windows 7 first came on. No, not 7. Windows 8. Because 7 was, many people are still on 7. It was kind of widely like the good stable Windows that did the things you wanted Windows to do and didn't do the things you didn't want Windows to do. And I remember I went to a conference. At the time I was in that sales job, and there was, that one work trip I did at that job, they flew us out to Toronto, and they had like this tech conference where they were showing new technologies so we could learn about them, and all the reps were trying to bribe you so that you would bribe you with like pens so that you would think more kindly of their product and then therefore subconsciously sell more of it. I don't know, but I went to the Windows 8. It was right around when Windows 8 was going to launch, and I went to those panels, and watching these poor Microsoft reps do their best to convince people that the tile view was going to be a big deal, and how everything's touch nowadays, so what we need is big, brightly colored tiles. Look how cute it is, and having to convince customers of that. For a long time, I would sell computers by being like, okay, here's the deal. Here's the computer. It has Windows 8 on it. You give us some extra money and we will take that back and roll it to Windows 7 for you. We're going to put a copy of Windows 7 on it for you, and then you never have to touch it. And that worked for a long time. Now on Windows 10, I get by just fine. I still don't care for their redone settings menus. I appreciate that they left the old ones in, but the fact that you have redundant settings menus for things like sound settings and Bluetooth and whatever, it just makes me nuts. It's messy and it's gross and I don't like it, and you can't do half of the stuff in the cute one they want you to use. And like, why bother making a cute menu if it won't do everything the uncute one did? It's not that we're addicted to uncuteness, it's that the new one doesn't have all the features. Polydork, thank you very much for the 500 bits. Appreciate it. Hazel, I enjoy streaming. I play Valorant. My real love is WoW. What do you recommend when it comes to streaming WoW? What do I recommend when it comes to streaming WoW? I need a more specific question. I could recommend that. I feel like I don't know what to say. You stream WoW, and that's good. And then your stream will be WoW. I don't have much experience in switching between games for stream. I stream 99% WoW. Once a month I will do a baking stream where I talk mostly about WoW, and then once in my life I did an Animal Crossing stream, which was just kind of an anomaly. 10 is great, didn't care for 7 much either. I think Cortana can leave. I guess I don't use voice assistants. That doesn't mean nobody uses voice assistants, but I dislike that she seems very much tied into the search functions, because I do really like the fast search and that they've put into Windows. I don't remember when it started, but I don't keep shortcuts on my desktop anymore. I keep a couple of things that I use all the time on my taskbar. I've got like my Audacity, my editing software, Photoshop, WoW, Discord, that kind of stuff on my taskbar. And then anything else that I want to launch, I will just type it into the start bar, and it'll be like this, and I'm like, yes, and then I just launch it from there, so I don't have to have a messy desktop. I abhor a messy desktop. Abhor is a strong word, but it's appropriate here. No thank you. So I don't keep icons on it. But the problem is that search feature is occasionally, it's somehow, like, I've turned off Cortana as many places as I can, and I don't want advertising in my operating system that I bought, and I don't want, recommendations and, algorithmic content. It's not Instagram, it's Windows. It's infuriating. And occasionally, because my earpieces all have microphones on them, because I like using wireless earpieces, and they're often also designed for calls, if I make too much noise while I'm searching for something, Cortana will be like, I'm listening, and there's no way that I have discovered yet for me to stop her from ever doing that without also completely disabling that search feature that I use so much. And it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, I'm displeased with her. You at least fix 10. When 8 got a bug, you need a new computer. Do not stream when Aspen streams. That's my tip. Wish our privacy wasn't invaded by the new OS. Cortana's disabled. She's weird. Who has Cortana enabled? I want to meet that person. I want to meet there's got to be some people that are like hardcore Microsoft, just like stans. They probably follow all the Microsoft news, and Microsoft puts out a new technology and they want to use it to its fullest extent. They look for use cases. Because there's people like that for Apple. There has to be at least 2 people for Microsoft. So I imagine there was somebody that was like, oh, Cortana, I'm going to use this. And they like figure out how to fit it into their lives. But yeah, I would not worry about when somebody else is streaming when you go to stream. I think that's probably an effective strategy. But at the end of the day, you can't schedule your whole life around other people's lives. You just got to kind of, I don't know. Offer your own thing, and I don't know, if people come, they come, and if they don't come, that's also fine. I'm not very good at, like, the stream strategy. I don't know when the optimal times to stream are. I just kind of stream when it's convenient for me, and then I do like doing 2 separate time slots. I do a morning time weekends and Tuesdays, and then I do an afternoon time Wednesdays through Fridays, so that I can hit people in different time zones a little bit better, although they're still fairly similar. Ikarian, thank you very much for the 2-month resub. The best advice I think I have for anybody working on their own stream or their own YouTube channel is to take data and discover what works for you by trial and error. Be a scientist about it, because content creation is so individual, and there are so many factors, and there are so many ways to do it. I feel like it's a bit of a waste of time to do what works for other people, and instead, if you want to make something that's a little bit more, I don't know, authentic or individual to yourself, you figure out what you want. Like, imagine what you want out of a content creator. Figure out how you can deliver that. Try something out, you know, make some notes about what you did, and then adjust it a little bit, try it out again, and then, you know, compare compare how it worked. YouTube gives you analytics. Twitch doesn't give you as many, but Twitch does give you some. You can kind of tell, like, for example, I stream at 2 stream times. If I wanted to super maximum optimize, I would compare how they both did, and I would also probably take a few weeks to experiment with more stream times and see when I get the best viewership, because that could be based on when other people stream, but it could also be based on time zones. It could be based on people's habits. So you know, try different things and then do what works for you, because what works for somebody else is just as likely to not do it. It's so individual. Eri, thank you for the brand new sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. I have Siri. I cannot say she's better. I will now and then use voice control, which I think is through Siri, on my watch to set timers and stuff. That's kind of nice if I'm, like, cooking and my hands are covered and stuff. I still hold down the crown to do it, because I don't want the voice. I don't want the spooky digital lady voice, and I don't want a spooky digital man voice. I don't want anybody talking to me except for the person that tells me my Bluetooth headphones are charged. You know, I can't get around her, but everybody else can go away. This mount that I'm using here today is the Shadow Barb drone. It is from the dailies that you can do out in Oldham that involve caring for your little drone Akir hatchling. You start them kind of out by the Wastewander camps. Will you only be doing this every Tuesday or every day until you get it? Probably just Tuesdays, although I may at some point. It's kind of, I don't know, we'll see how we're only 55 minutes in, we'll see how another hour brings us. It feels kind of gross to put it down after 2 hours and pick it up again, because if you just stuck it out for 6 hours, then that seems to be the longest spawn time that I've seen reported, and with people in every spawn zone, you're unlikely to miss it in that time frame. So starting over feels a little bit gross, but I also don't have 6 hours to stream today. I gotta make some content if I want any videos out on Thursday. What do you use for streaming? I use OBS and Streamlabs. Same thing. Yeah, OBS Studio in particular has been most stable for me. For a while, I kept both OBS Studio and Streamlabs OBS installed, and I think I still have slabs on here somewhere, so that if I was having some weird issue with one of them, I could always just switch to the backup. That's a good tip, actually. Have backups of stuff. Have multiple ways that you can do things, because sometimes things will break and you don't know why, and if you had planned to stream, it's better to have a backup something. Like if my camera did break, I could go grab my pet camera and put that on me. If it came to that, I could do that. I have a backup microphone as well. I don't think that a new streamer should go ahead and buy extra stuff, but if you end up replacing your stuff at any point, keep your old stuff, just in case. Some of us are nutty enough to watch both of those time slots, no matter if it's 2 a.m. by the time it's over. The consistency, I think, is also quite important for content creation, because ideally, if you are on at the exact same time and people can count on you and they can rely on you and trust you to be on at the same time specific days, and they know when you're going to be there, that lets people kind of build habits. Like somebody could fit me into a part of their day. Like maybe I'm part of their Tuesday routine. Maybe they have a little space when the stream is, and they know that I'm going to be on at this time because I always am. And consistency is hard, especially because life happens and the internet happens, and you know, there's game outages and there's equipment failures and there's a million things that can go wrong. But if you do everything in your power to be on at the same times, I think over time that will help grow your viewership because people can count on you, and when they have formed habits so that they know your stream is going to happen before it's even started, you've won fairly big there. That's a pretty important thing. Camp 4 hours on it. Buy a second house if your first one breaks. 6-hour New Year's Eve stream this time for Elusive Quickhoof. Some streamers I can't watch because I never find them online because their consistency is lacking. Yeah, I can't hold that against anybody, especially streamers that have, like, kids. You know, stuff happens, and it's not a problem if the stream isn't a priority. Like, my YouTube consistency was terrible for years and years and years, and I'm still not going to jinx it because it could happen again. Yeah, it's nice to put things out at the same time. Look for alpaca, El Bardo, Hazel group? You found the alpaca? Look for alpaca. You got it? Okay. All right. So, leave, I, find, sign up, accept, where are we at? I'm trying not to get too excited too early. We don't know how long it's already been up, and I'm a little ways away. I'm not too far away. I have my stuff, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed it if I can, and then otherwise I'm going to get on my Brutosaur, so if anybody is missing their greens, they can buy some from me. Why am I dying? Oh, the puddle. It was up. We did see it. So I guess what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna relist. So if anybody wants to rejoin my group. I don't know if I've switched shards or anything like that. It did despawn. That can happen. We're all dying. Sometimes there is disappointment. It's okay. We have another hour left in stream. It could still happen today. My macro worked. Put a little skull on it and everything. That was so sad. Cortana played Despacito. I guess that alpaca just hates gnomes. Oh, man. No, it was just despawning. It only stays up for a couple of minutes. So you gotta get there real fast. And sometimes that's not enough. That's okay. Did this as a guild event. Took about 2.5 hours. Sorry, it disappeared. That stinks. Yeah, well, you hate to see it. What do you do? Life happens. Opinion on druids. Druids are fun. Druids are fun to pick herbs on. They're fun for gathering because you can just be a bird. I prefer playing druid as my PvP class. It's the only thing I really want to queue arena on. They have so many like delightful tools. They are a little button heavy. I don't like playing them in PvE because there's just like so many things and I want to keybind all of them and I just don't have room. They have so many buttons. It feels like probably more than most other classes. What mounts are easiest to get? Hard to go wrong with the Bronze Drake from like a Culling of Strathholm Caverns of Time speedrun. You can do that by yourself and that'll get you like your nice first easy. That was the first mount that I got that was like not a vendor mount, was the Bronze Drake from the Infinite Corruptor. So you go to Culling of Strathholm, which is a Caverns of Time. You do it on what, Heroic? And then all you gotta do is just do it in time, and as a max level character that's very easy to do. And that should be perfectly good. I would, you know, look it up online, go read some Wowhead comments first because I may be misremembering it, but that's an easy mount for sure. pleasant to listen to your stream during writing my master's thesis. Tabbing between stream, Ivory Cloud Dragon sitting and waiting. That's the other thing that I could have camped today. And that we could camp at some point. Maybe tomorrow. Because is the invasion's up now, yeah? Pandaria. Is this the invasion that can have the Ivory Cloud Serpent? No, this is Mantid. That's not right. We need Mogu. Is that correct? This is the one? Yeah, the race mounts are easy enough too. That's true. Oh, AirPod. On AirPod. AirPod is over and the Terrace of the Devoted. Which is also a great name. 2654. Hopefully we can make it in time. I was so far. I'm stressed. This is my stressed face. Think speedy thoughts. I also have the group listed, so if you're on Alliance North America and you think you can get out here in time, get out here. It's in custom. So you talk to it, and then you feed it. Nice. I got it! Ow! There it is. So now I'm gonna stay on my vendor and keep inviting people. So if you don't have the seaside greens, you can buy them. You need seaside leafy greens, you can buy them from this vendor right here. You just talk to it with the greens in your inventory, and there's a dialogue that you can select. Your luck does not let up. I mean, this was a group effort. This was a group effort for sure. Really nice to have that done within one stream, though. I will take the group down when it despawns. It should have a couple of minutes because we camped the beginning of its spawn. I just talked to it the once. I have my mount now. I'm just here for anybody else that needs it. Have you made a video with Shadowlands transmog yet? I did one about the questing transmog, and I did another one about the Covenant sets. I may eventually do one about the raid sets. And I also want to do a video for Thursday, I think, about human customizations, because I've been talking about doing that forever. I haven't decided or figured out how I want to do those videos, though. I need to really figure out a groove that makes me feel comfortable for them, because I feel like I'm just saying dumb things over customizations that nobody cares about, and you're just there to see the options. And I can just do the options plus music, but at that point, I feel like you're better off just going to the character creator. I think maybe I'll mix of both. Like, I'll give any opinions that I have, and I'll try to do it in as soothing a tone as possible without being creepy. And then maybe just have some interludes of music so I have each option up for long enough. That might work. Also, it doesn't matter. So I should not worry about it and just make the video. But, yeah, I don't really know. I don't feel great about those yet, but I do want to make them, and people are watching them, so. It's still up. It's so nice when you can do something like this and get like a bunch of people mounts. And not just like the one streamer. The alpaca, yeah, this alpaca is a one-time feed. You just have to find it up, feed it the one time with the seaside leafy greens, which you can get from the Tortollan vendor, and then you have them out. You don't have to keep finding it. So anybody in the group that needs summons, ask for it in raid chat so that people know which one's you. It's probably almost out of time. Not to stress anybody out, it's probably almost out of time. once the Wanderlust buff expires. I don't see a Wanderlust buff. Still need Molly. I did get lucky with Molly. I got Molly on the first rotation of Dunegorger Krowlock. It was my 10th character, 10th or 11th character, so I did have a good roster of 120s to run through that, but I did manage to get that one. So now I have, actually, once I've learned it, it's still in my bags. There's my Elusive Quickhoof. I'll get on it after this. Now that I have this one, I now have all of my alpacas. Also, if anybody wants details about alpaca farming, any of the alpacas, I did make a video. There's a how to get every alpaca map video on YouTube by me. When is the next Dunegorger? That I don't know on top of my head. Spawn timer of the alpaca supposedly between 2 and 6 hours. Between 2 and 6 hours. This is not a feed for 7 days alpaca. This one is a find and feed once, but it is tougher to find. It's the most difficult or rarest mount that I have. I mean, I have a lot of, the rarest mount I have just in terms of other people that have learned it is it's the one that drops off of the aerial unit boss in Mechagon, because that just drops off of a current dungeon that's fairly new, so not as many people have that. I also have a number of TCG mounts. I don't know if they're hard, but I spent gold on them. And I guess saving up the gold for the Brutosaur also took me a year. This one was like a year-long effort. Oh, look at that Jaina mount. I spent 6 months farming for the Raptor from Zul'Gurub. That one's not hard. It just was hard for me. I don't have any glad mounts. If I ever get a glad mount, that'll be my answer. Watching stream meaning I should do that one time, then realized I could just join and come. You indeed can. Although, this is probably almost over. Look at all these alpacas we did. Hi Hazel, how are you today? I'm doing all right. How are you, little paws? Expensive AF. Yeah, I bought my TCG mounts off of the auction house for gold back in Warlords, and at the time they were still manufacturing and selling TCG mounts, or cards rather. So their value wasn't as bad. Like right now they've discontinued the TCG, so whatever they made is it, which is making those rarer and rarer over time. And also, gold inflation was kind of wild because I was making bank off of just having 10 to 12 characters run through the garrison every day. Hey Teeny, thank you very much for the host. Appreciate it. Hope you guys had a great day. Train of thought toast. Oh yeah, we were talking about TCG mounts. Yeah, so I just made like, I would save up like 100, 200k just off of like a week or two of doing gold missions every day on all those characters. And then apparently 45 seconds left on this guy. And then I would just buy another TCG mount. I would just see which ones were up and then I would just buy another one. I don't have all of them. I definitely don't have all of them. I think this one's almost done. I don't have the chicken. I don't have the camel, I don't believe. But most of the other TCG mounts I got just because they were on the auction list at the time. I think I should probably delist. I think this thing's almost over. I'd hate for people to miss it like I did. Alright, it does the bouncing. Oh. Was that it? I think that's it. I think it's gone. Let's learn the mount. I don't know what that raid-wide bounce was. That was unusual. That was odd. Look at all these alpacas. They're so bouncy. The raid bounce was the alpaca leaving. I just didn't know that it did a raid bounce. Ken, thank you very much for the host. When the Quickhoof leaves, it bounces in an AoE. Okay. I see, I see. Look at all these bounces. So we have an hour or so left, short of maintaining a hour-long alpaca party. I think that maybe, are you guys sure that the Group photo. The assault that has the serpent is up. Could I camp for the serpent now? Do you think I can get 2 of those in one stream? That's worth another stream highlight. It's not up? Okay. I was wrong. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was the Mogu one. So that means we cannot do Xanthian Lasso. I have that saved for next time it comes around. So I want to do another mount. You know, let's go. I mean, I'm going to change my stream title because Elusive Quickhoof camping is over because we got it. Let's see. What are we going to call this? Miscellaneous mount hunting. Let's say that. So let's go into Legion Kara and then just kind of whip through there and see how that feels. So for that one, I guess I want to go Stormwind. Let me close my window real quick. Nice thing about living in an apartment is that other people do your landscaping, and the poor thing about it is that when they're doing their leaf blowing and weed mowing and other assorted activities, it can be quite loud. Do you have Midnight from Return to Kara? That's kind of what I'm thinking. I have the Smoldering Emberworm, so I am set on the speedrun one, but I don't have Midnight. I think it'll be just fine to try on this character. It's other characters that have less gear that I'm worried about. Although at least Legacy Loot Mode is now active for Legion content. They did turn that on early, so that should be, that should help. Oh, I'm not far enough. I guess I can just scooch. I'm on wheels. The add-on showing me all mounts for that character. The add-on showing you all mounts that character. I have, let's see. I have Mount Journal Enhanced, which is showing me more filters. This is just a regular mount journal, though. I moved the camera so you guys don't stare at my window while I was opening the curtain to get through the to close it. That's all. I do not have Jennifer. Has Jennifer been solved? Got the Smoldering Emberworm last week together. Fun. Emberworm can still drop. Yeah. Yeah, we can just sit over here. This has got more. This has got more WoW stuff in the background anyways, and now I'm actually blocking the light from the aquarium, so that works out. Yeah, if Jennifer hasn't been solved, I certainly have not found it myself. You can easily solo Kara, farm Midnight with Rogue, DH at around 370 gear. Yeah, but like, how easy is it? Because I came and did this, and mind you, I think I was trying it in the first patch of the expansion. I came and tried to do Midnight on my priest to try to figure out how hard it was, and I kept dying in the downstairs room. And I know that's probably just me being bad or whatever, but the point of a mount run for me is I need to be able to do it so mindlessly that nothing can go wrong, even though I'm spending 100% of my brain just talking to chat. So I think it'll be fun in this character. I'll see, maybe we'll try a few alts, because my alts are higher item level than they used to be. I was getting them up to like 400, 410 or so, just with like real quick gear catch up so that I could run HFC on them. And this is not a 20-man mythic raid. This is a 5-man heroic dungeon. So let's go dungeon difficulty heroic. I don't remember where to get in. It's the upstairs thing right here. Yeah, this door I think is the one, because downstairs is the proper raid. I do have the raid mount from the original raid. I do not have Midnight from this one. Also, I get giga lost in here. I remember this stream. Were any of you here? It was a while ago. I think it was over a year ago, probably back on YouTube. I just got so lost. I think this was the origin of me realizing that people trying to give me instructions through chat is horrendous for everybody, because it's very frustrating for people to watch me turn around and be lost and not take directions, and it's very hard for me to take directions when they are delayed by anywhere between 10 and 45 seconds, depending on when I saw them, and people saying, go left, doesn't mean anything, when that was a whole minute ago and I've already run down a hallway. So I'm not super familiar with exactly, even though we tried figuring this out last time, it's still not a one-shot. I don't really remember the route, like there's a fast way to do this. I think you do have to do opera. Carrying alts right now is really rough. I disagree. I think that catching up alts and getting them their you know, corruptions and their essences and like getting them ready to like raid and be current is a little bit tough. But like just getting item level up, flat item level, you can do in an afternoon. You get the, like by the time you get through the cloak quest line, especially if you had a little bit of account wide gear, I can do like brand new to 400 in I think about 3 hours, and that includes the cloak line. Run past, you don't need to fight these, but like what if they drop me something good? Look, that pack gave me 6 gold. You can't see, it's behind my camera. Sarko X, thank you for the 109 bits. Love your videos and streams. Thank you. Yeah, getting to 400 isn't bad. Getting, you know, to 460 with perfect corruptions and rank 3 essences, that's some work. It's not impossible, and you can do a lot of it by yourself with horrific visions and assaults, as long as you're doing your assault dailies and your, as long as you do your assault dailies and your horrific visions, and you get decent at those and you get through the research tree, you can get yourself pretty far just by yourself, but that takes some time for sure. I feel really far behind people for PvP purposes though. Oh yeah, I feel you there. I am trying to queue on my 440 druid. She was 420 a few days ago, which was basically just last season's gear. And I'm trying to heal, and people with corruptions just do so much damage that it feels impossible to keep, like I can be spamming everything and rotating my cooldowns, and sometimes people just die anyways. Like I'm not even I'm giving it everything I have. That can be frustrating. I'm hoping that as I keep playing, I'm getting decent stuff out of my PvP caches, and if I keep dragging myself through horrific visions, I should keep getting stuff from there as well, and that should help, but it'll take a while. Watched your video getting your Felsteel Annihilator. Within 5 minutes I got mine to drop. If you could refarm Invincible, post that video, that would be great for me. I mean, there is video, I believe, of the first time I got Invincible. Is there not? I have a bunch of them posted. I have most of the mounts that I ever got drop on stream. I have most of those highlights posted. I don't know if I did Invincible. I feel like I must have. This is Heroic? Only drops on Mythic? Oh, awkward. Yeah. I told you I wasn't good at this. Hazel, you need, yeah, I got it. Look, I got a life artifact relic. How exciting. All right, well, let's walk outside because, you know, you can't just teleport out. I got my Amberworm, missed my Quickhoof. That loses Juju over time. We need another one. Oh, man, I appreciate the sentiment. DPS and healer, and same with a lot of corruption. Yeah, I'm mostly just I'm gonna get my vicious mount. I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna make some memories. I'm not pushing rating. Nuh-uh. I'm gonna get 1800. I'm gonna get my set, and I'm never gonna wear it, and that's fine. That's it. That's the end. Goodbye. Game over. Shadowlands, however, I have some hope for, because we're not bringing corruptions with us into Shadowlands. I'm lost. This way. We're not bringing corruptions with us into Shadowlands, so I'm hoping that we can get to a fairly even playing field where things are skill-based, because I don't mind losing because I suck. That happens all the time. I've made my peace with it, and when I lose because I'm bad, I can take a look at the footage and figure out why I lost and improve on that. But when I lose because somebody else was playing Raider IO Cleave and has, like, stacked their best-in-slot corruption 7 times over, there's not a gameplay thing I can specifically try better in the next match to fix that, and that's just frustrating. I feel like that is anti-competitive. That's more of an MMO thing than it is an esports thing, and WoW esports has such potential. If you look at the viewer numbers of WoW esports compared to the overhead for it, there's so many people that really want to watch and enjoy WoW. It's just, it needs, in my opinion, to be held more separately from the rest of the game, because every time that PvE and PvP mix their juices, it's never good. So we're going to just reset, and we're going to switch that dungeon difficulty to Mythic. Forgot about that one. Skylorna, thank you very much for the brand new sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Pretty lost where you are now. Stairs all over the place. From what I remember, I know how to get to Opera. I walk in, go up the stairs, hang a right, and I know how to get to Opera because I was just there. And then after Opera, that's when it gets kind of confusing, because it looks like you can just head downstairs, but you can't, because it's like locked or something. Lots of fun spamming 2's my Guardian Druid with 3+ Twilight Dev pieces. Teleport out, you can list a random custom, right click on the character, leave. Oh, and nobody has to join? That's kind of nice. Okay, back to more skill-based rather than proc-based. That's all I want. That's all I want. I am at peace with being a nub, you know, because I just don't play enough. That's fine. How are you? Currently farming Siege of Orgrimmar like a madman. You have my deepest sympathies. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. We got the Elusive Quickhoof earlier this stream. We camped that and had it spawn. Need to kill the Butler boss. Macro 2, unequip your gear. Macro character struck, it'll kill you, send you to the stair of the dungeon. Alright, so this time I'm going to run by this stuff, which I didn't do last time, and I guess I can leave the 6 gold behind. I don't know how anybody expects me to make gold if I'm just walking by it standing on stairs. I'm kidding. Gecko Blaze, thank you for the gift subs. Deeply generous of you. Congrats to those who got some. Thank you very much. Stepped into care as well. Cross fingers. Good luck to us. I wonder how many attempts I already have. I know I have a couple, because I tried this a few times when I was trying to figure out what on earth the route was, and clearly I didn't learn anything, but hopefully I at least got a couple attempts in. I don't know if my rarity will remember them. Hey, I am Bob. Hi, Bob. Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for the sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. How's Joker doing after last week's emergency vet visit? He is a little bit of a sad boy still. He's having a hard time wanting to eat. His appetite's not very good. And he's very stiff and doesn't seem happy about moving, so he's just resting. He is on strict rest orders. We're switching up his meds a little bit from direction from the vet this morning, and we're going to call back in another 24 hours and see what the next steps are. Joker swap beds, which is still good. That is a prime and classic Joker move, so as long as he's still getting up from one bed and going to the other one. Saw your YouTube video for the new mounts. Congrats, I think. I hope I get lucky like you did when I log. After opera, you jump down to the dining room, run past all the mobs. You won't pull anything if you hit the right line. Okay. Is that a Kleekai? That is a Kleekai. He is 9 years old. Tony kills me. This is a West Side Story, if anybody's, like, never seen a musical before in their lives. And Goat Bryce, thank you very much for the brand new sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Okay, I'm going to read those instructions one more time. After opera, jump down to the dining room. Alright, so this door, unless you mean jump off that edge, there's a lot of places to jump. I used to come through here. Maybe I was supposed to jump down further. The grand ballroom door in the broken stair opened. I also have some stairs here. I think there was a trash mob at some point that had a stun. I think it might have been the pennies from heaven. Or maybe that just did a lot of damage. Maybe I've gone too far. You're on the right way? Okay. I'm definitely pulling a lot of trash. But you know what? Well, actually, no, I didn't get any gold from the last time. What's the point of killing trash if I don't get my, like, 6 gold? How much do I get here? Oh, 75 silver. Not worth it. Not worth it. Also, I may have gotten turned around. Now I'm going back upstairs, and I feel like I just came down these ones. Oh, no, I found somebody. Skeletal Usher. Well, see, there's just the front of the stage, though. Well, no, now I'm over here. Banquet hall? Is that the dining room? I'm just gonna have to wander around lost probably 5 to 10 times before I really get the hang of where I want to be. The good news is that on a geared character, at least, this doesn't seem dangerous, and I seem to do enough damage. At least with, like, a Void Eruption, maybe not with Shadow Mindseer, rather. Although this does not give me hope. If it still takes me this much effort to kill mobs on a... Let's go down these stairs. If it takes me this much effort to kill mobs on an item level 474, like, main character... Oh, there's Morose. Alright, we found him. This is not a quick run. I don't feel great about doing it on, like, my fresh baby characters that I don't even know how to play. Straight ahead, jump off, right, left, stairs! You see what I mean, though? I'm not gonna see chat. I appreciate the help. I know it's coming from a good place. I am heartwarmed that you want to assist. However, I'm not gonna see it until like 45 seconds ago, and I'm gonna have no idea what you meant at the time by left or right or stairs. I think I'm just gonna have to wander around lost for a while, and we're all gonna get through this together, and I'm gonna mess this up many times in a row, and eventually I'll have figured it out. I got some robes. Oh, you know what I want to know is I want to know what kind of transmog I still need from this area. Twitch guides Hazel. Yeah, it's not very effective. Also, I'm more of a do-it-myself kind of person, to be honest with you. I would rather do something incorrectly of my own accord than have somebody walk me through something that I could do myself. I really, like, whenever I'm playing Dark Souls, I do not let my husband talk to me or give me any advice unless I'm, like, really stuck and I ask for it, because I do not care for somebody trying to do something for me when I'm trying to experiment and figure it out myself. It feels very, what's the word? I know it comes from a good place, but it can be hard to take with grace. Left, right, no, stairs. That'll be my next stream title. Do you guys have a casual raid group? So the Squirrel Squad does have a raid team. I don't know if they're currently looking for people. They might have their team together already. Tips for not getting burned out in WoW. Try different things, and also take breaks. If you're getting burned out, then you're getting burned out, and that's fine. Yeah, so this is basically where we're trying to get to, is the Huntsman. For all I know, this was actually the fastest way, and we've done it correctly. This wasn't so bad. I'm just gonna go kill him directly and see what happens. I know in the past I've done this, and it has gotten me killed because everything pulls. Alright. So my rarity thinks this is attempt number 4. At least I didn't die. So there we go. Inescapable Dread. That was attempt 4. Okay, we did get the alpaca. You got there. In the same way, fiance's always trying to help. Would you play Bloodborne? I've already played Bloodborne. I have a Let's Play on my YouTube channel. I played it on stream back in the day. We don't have a PS4 anymore, though, so I couldn't play it again. Watching your 5-mass solo of Org last week as a Shadow Priest finally inspired me to try it myself. I do find Org a lot harder than Stormwind. Trinity Blade, thank you very much for the gift subs. Also, Doofus2 had a brand new sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad, Doofus. I feel mean saying that, even though that's your name. I don't know. Org and Stormwind have their own ups and downs for me. I find the bosses of Orgrimmar to be a bit harder. At least I find Rexxar frustrating as a Shadow Priest. However, Illyria I find incredibly frustrating. Even though I am ranged, I still hate her a lot. So they have their own ups and downs. I guess I'm gonna get on to another character, and I'm gonna go see what the inn looks like. Let's grab maybe the hunter that used to live in Tanan Jungle. I'm gonna go see if I was gonna park her by Karazhan, where the closest place I can set my Hearthstone is would be good. Main Queen Mana, thank you for the gift sub. Congrats to whoever got that one. And Gecko Blaze with another gift sub. Are you after the Burning Crusade mount? No, the Legion one. The Legion one. The last boss up on the tower is something else. I refuse to watch my wife play because I can't help but help. I know it annoys her, so I just don't do it. Don't want her to waste time on something I've already gone through. I get that. It is tough. It is tough. I used to be really bad for doing that a lot in streams. I would watch streams, and I am a sucker for a question I can answer. Like, I just want to help. And I think in the past I've offered help a little too much, a little too aggressively, when sometimes people just want to figure things out on their own, and that's fine. So yeah. Yeah, so the camera has been purposefully disabled. I'm just going to turn it off for now because Doggy's getting his medicine right now. Oh, no, that's my camera. Whoops. Doggy's getting his medicine right now, and he wants some privacy. You can solo Legion Karazhan. It's varying... Oh, I just hearthed to the same spot that I came from. Awkward. You can solo Legion Karazhan. It is varying levels of frustrating depending on how much item level you have. I'm very interested to see how it feels on this character. This is like a good example of a mount running ult for me. She's item level 407, with like nothing special going on, you know. So we're going to Stormwind first. Is there an inn in the Deadwinds Pass? I guess I'll go look around. Did they remove the port to Kara and Dalaran? Yeah, I think they did. Darkshire's the closest place? Okay. That sounds true. That sounds true. I'll go start there, and then I'll look around. Privacy you maintain, husband, YouTube and Twitch stuff is impressive and respectable. I try. I think sometimes I can seem a little overly sensitive about that kind of thing. It's just that once you put something online, you can't get it back. And I feel less stressed about coming online to share my thoughts and make videos and make content. I feel better about it when I have like some good strong delineation between what is personal life and what is not. I know some people have very intimate and personal streams and they share everything and they have their significant others on stream all the time and everything is content. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but I don't think I can live like that. I need things to be just for me so that if anything happens to my internet career, for lack of a better words, I still have feet underneath me and I don't feel like it's all tied together. What kills me is when streamers ask out loud but then complain if I answer the question they literally asked. Sometimes I think it can just be like a rhetorical wondering, but I do understand how that would read is really frustrating. But yeah. When you do it on your druid, hunters get all weapons. Are you still planning on class changing for Shadowlands? No, probably not. I think I'm probably going to stick with priest. I'm still kind of entertaining the idea of healing more as a holy priest, but I'm feeling better about Shadow recently. I think I was just kind of out of touch with what makes Shadow good right now. And after having done like my visions on it, I'm feeling a little bit back in the mode with it. Aw, thanks for those gift subs. And Trinity Blade with another gift sub. Cheers, guys. Wouldn't want you to feel uncomfy. Privacy is an important aspect. Not overly sensitive about it's a good trait. Thanks, I think so. I think it's important for everybody. I think that even if you're not a content creator, it is smart to keep your online social life and like your handle in particular separate from information that is tied to your actual real life, because, you know, if the internet is a scary place and some people are not reasonable, and if you ever attract the attention of somebody that really wants to ruin your life, if they can find out where you live and what your real name is and where you own real estate and where you work, that gives people a lot of ammunition to hold over you. And it's just easier and safer if you can have those things as separate as possible. It's very hard, at least on the internet, or impossible to be perfect with it. But like, don't make it easy, you know? What are we doing? I am setting my Hearthstone over here. Don't post an awful lot on social media for precisely this reason. Yeah, I don't have a personal Facebook anymore, because that kind of thing, especially when other people can tag you in photos with your name, even if you didn't want that, seems like too much for me. Not that anybody ever takes pictures of me anyways, because I don't go outside, but I'm completely off of Facebook personally. I have a page that's for Hazelnutty Games that's fairly neglected and still has like the 2014 banner. But aside from that, a few days off from this game after unlocking Legion flag and BFA flag, so sick of it. Online friend personalities who share stuff like their Pokemon Go friend code. It's dangerous. Yeah, I'm not good at setting verbal boundaries. Like, I am not good at telling people that I am uncomfortable with what they're doing, especially if they're not trying to hurt me and they're just trying to be friendly. So it's much easier to prevent things from happening, like somebody finding out where you live, than to have to tell them, please don't come to my house, this is not okay. All right, so here we go. I have my pet. I am going to go dungeon difficulty mythic. I am currently in Beastmaster spec. Locking your bike, nothing's 100% safe, but if it's annoying enough to get past the lock, chances are good for nobody to try. Yeah, it's still smart to do. Even if somebody could cut the lock off your bike, that doesn't mean you should skip the lock altogether. You guys with the gift subs. Facebook, not my real name either. I hate the prying question Facebook posts. I feel like they're fishing for password clues. What's the name of your favorite pet? That does feel kind of sketchy, doesn't it? Sick tattoo, what's it of? My tattoo, this one, is a cherry blossom tree that goes down my arm. I had an appointment to get my other arm tattooed. I'm hoping that I can get in contact with the artist to reschedule it, although maybe they're just waiting until things start opening up again before they reschedule. But yeah, cherry blossom tattoo there. I think eventually I would like to have a fair amount of tattoos, and at least my arms and my legs. Maybe not like full body wrapped. And I don't see myself going for like finger tattoos or neck tattoos or anything like that. But I like them a lot, and I appreciate that I am able to still work while having tattoos. I know not a lot of workplaces are cool with like colored hair and tattoos, and I like it that you guys let me get away from that. Nobody's tried to fire me yet. Backryu, thank you for the 100 bits. Appreciate it. Missed my highlighted message. I must know. Hang on, let me find it. Scroll, 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 scroll. Oh, there we go. Don't know your pup's name. Your puppy, how are you? Pup's name is Joker. He's got a... Here, we got a exclamation dog. So dog's name is Joker. He is a Alaskan Clay Kai. He's a little under the weather for now. Forehead tattoo. No, thank you. I'm good. That's okay. What do you call somebody with no body and no nose? Nobody knows. Love cherry blossoms. My favorite tree. That tattoo's, I think, almost... I guess it's not quite 10 years old today. It's like 7 or 8 years I've had this tattoo for. So I think it's very reflective of the aesthetic that I was into at the time when I was like 19, 20, but I still like it quite a bit, and I feel as though even if I eventually grow out of, I don't know, flowers, then I'll still appreciate that it was something I liked at the time. Joker's not the only pet that I have. We also have a cat. Her name is Kira, but mostly called Cat. She's currently in, you can kind of see a little bit of her. There's a kitty in the cat bed back behind me. She's my baby. And then I keep fish as well. I keep freshwater tropical fish. So I have a aquarium in my living room that I'll occasionally do fish cam for, where I show off. I've got a honey gourami, I've got a Bolivian ram, I have a couple of mountain minnows, and I have a couple of panda corridors as well. Have you ever thanked yourself for that 12-month sub yet? Hazel, you're being fired. We have to stop watching because your tattoos and hair are offensive. Imagine if I also swore. It would be just like the underground over here. I have a pug called Ben. Do you want him? That's okay. I'll keep mine. We're good. I enjoy meeting other people's dogs, and we have friends that have like Frenchies and English bulldogs, and like there's people that at dog parks and whatnot that I've met that have like, you know, the pugs and whatnot. I would not myself get a squashed faced dog. I enjoy them. I don't think they're bad dogs. I feel they have a hard time breathing sometimes. They're just not really, those don't happen in nature by themselves. And like, you know, you visit the friends that have the Frenchie, and I love their dogs, but you can hear them 100% of the time. You can always hear them breathing, and it seems like kind of a struggle. And also, there must be something about the squashed face that reads as very cute, because I see people love them and they get like pug and Frenchie, you know, furniture and aprons and dish towels, and people really love them, and I don't understand. I don't get it. It's a dog, and I don't hate it, but it's not my top pick for a cute dog. It's the ugly dork effect? I guess so. It's whatever is supposed to make that appealing to me is just missing in my brain. Kara was a bus trying ICC now. I wonder if I could just jump off here. What happens if I just jump off this? Can I just jump off here? Oh, maybe you just can't. Okay, that would explain that. Okay. All right, so then we go through and through and then through, and this will take us down, and then we'll go back up before long, so let's not get too confused. And then, so from here, what I did last time was I went all the way straight through to the banquet hall, and I think that's the right way to go. You could also go through the servants' quarters. Is that faster? What if I take a left? People were yelling left at some point. Maybe this is the left that they meant. So last time we went straight ahead, and that did work. Let's try this left, and then maybe left again, so that we can go to the servants' quarters, because that sounds true. That sounds like a good idea. Also, I'm just going to keep running. I'm a hunter. I'm fast. Just keep swimming. All right. Yeah, that does work. I don't know if it's faster, because the other one spit me out elsewhere. It spit me out from the closer entrance. That did work, though. I don't hate it. Do you still have lemon tree babies? I do still have 2 of them. They're doing okay. One of them's a little yellower than the other one. They're both outside now, and they seem to enjoy the sun outside. I don't know if I should repot them. They have pretty big pots. I feel like they should be able to get fairly large. They're in, like, I think 1-gallon pots. It's just that they're a little bit stalled. If I got a dog, just adopt from a shelter, I think. Love that idea. Yeah, dogs and where you get them is like a complicated and thorny subject, because I do absolutely support adopting dogs from shelters. My childhood puppy, we got her from the SPCA, and she was a wonderful puppy. And it's also a great thing to give a home to older dogs, but also depending on the dog, you can end up with dogs that aren't necessarily the best fit for you and your home and your lifestyle. And you can get dogs, if you get a dog that has social issues, that's a big commitment that can put big restrictions on your life for the next like 10 to 20 years. What if you get a dog that bites people? What if you get a dog that cries through the night? What if you get a dog like Joker where you can't leave him alone and you can't just like go to the grocery store to pick something up without having to coordinate how you're going to distract the dog, or one person takes him out, or like if we're going to go out for a drive, back before this happened at least, I would take him out and then husband would go down to the car and then I would go down to the car to meet him because he couldn't see the husband leave or else he's going to have an absolute meltdown. You know, dogs are a big decision, and it's not always just, wow, this is a cute puppy, everything's going to be fine. So while I would prefer to get a shelter dog, and you can get shelter puppies, and I think with young dogs it's easier supposedly to, you know, give them good habits and give them a safe space where they're not going to pick up too many problematic issues. I also don't really judge people for getting ethically bred dogs if that's what they want. No mount. That was attempt number 5. No mount. Because, you know, there's lots of reasons for that, and you can't judge anybody in their family. No matter where you get a dog. Yeah, that's true. You can also get issues. Like Joker, I believe, was from a breeder. I wasn't around at the time. But I don't think you find too many clique eyes in... I don't think you find too many clique eyes in shelters. And he still has issues, so it's not like a black or white issue. Jump down to Moreau's, go to the service exit, down to the stables. Is that what I just did? I did something. I'm gonna just hearth to, well, actually, I'm just gonna log out, I guess, and this character will get kicked out to their Hearthstone location. Dogs are a big commitment, which is why I prefer plants and fish. I've been, the last couple of days, I've been going for my daily walk without the dog, because he can't exercise right now. He is on strict bed rest, so I will just go out on my own, and I thought that would be really, really weird, and it is kind of weird, but maybe it's just because it's quarantine right now, but I'm not the only person that's out there just walking for exercise, so I don't feel as odd or out of place. Before, I kind of felt like I needed to have a dog with me, one, so the walk wasn't wasted, and secondly, so that people, I guess, would understand why I'm outside. I don't know. I have a weird fear of being seen as being shady. Cork, thank you very much for the 7-month resub. Appreciate it. Also, MQ had a brand new sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. But it seems fine. And honestly, I could see myself living a life where I have a cat, maybe a pair of cats, and then, you know, fish and some plants. But I don't know if I would need another dog. I used to think that I would always have to have a dog, and after I don't know that that's necessarily true anymore. Maybe I'm good with just cats. Maybe I'm good with just visiting other people's dogs. I also don't think I would do another double coat dog, like a husky or a malamute or a clique or anything, because the amount of vacuuming I have to do to keep this place any semblance of clean is aggressive, and we're in an apartment. It's just a 2-bedroom. It's not that big of a deal. This character is still out by... She's 2 raids old. She never even made it out to HFC. Okay, let's head back to Stormwind. We'll set her Hearthstone to Dustshire again. Ever thought about keeping birds? Hard no. Hard no on birds. I have thought about it, which is how I arrived at my hard no. Backyard chickens would be one thing. That's something I would consider. I grew up with chickens, so I'm familiar with them. I still don't think I would really do it. It's a lot of work. It's more of an outdoor thing. It's a bit messier. And while it's fun and rewarding, I think I'm busy enough for now. But indoor birds are loud. I've never met a quiet one, and they make noise all the time, and I can't deal with it. And they live for a long time, and they need a lot of enrichment, and it's just like a whole thing that I am not prepared for, and I know I'm not prepared for it, which is why I'm not going to get any birds. There's a guy that I will play arena with, one of my friends has birds. I don't know what kind of birds he has, but you know he has birds, because whenever you're playing with him, you can hear them all the time. Got rid of her birds. They were pretty, but so loud. Yeah, no, I love them. I will visit them. I will not have any. And I also appreciate, I think I am best off specializing in just like one or two types of weird pets. You know, I have the freshwater fish, and I put a fair amount of work into researching and trying to keep them. I do water testing. Of course, they get their weekly water changes. I have different types of foods for them. I'm lightly engaged in the freshwater fish keeping scene so that I'm on top of, I don't know, the news. And I feel capable of staying enough afloat of my freshwater fish knowledge that I know that I'm doing the best by my fish. But I feel like if I had fish, but also turtles and also hamsters and also birds, it would become, I would rather more different types of fish than spreading myself out too thin and getting overwhelmed or not knowledgeable enough for proper animal keeping anyways. We had a newfie cleaning up the fur, and the drool was a job itself. Birds are a huge commitment. Scared of making that commitment then regretting them, but I love them so much and I want one. I mean, on the flip side, cats are also a big commitment. Cats can live for a very long time, and you can end up with cats that have problematic behaviors like scratching furniture or scratching you, or cats can also be very loud. There's lots of reasons why cats can be a problem. And I didn't care about that at all. And I wanted a cat real bad. And I was prepared for the cat to not like me. I was prepared for the cat to not want attention. I was prepared to just love my cat from afar. And then we got the cat, and it's the best thing I ever did. I don't think the takeaway is never get any pets. I think it's just make sure that you're really ready for that commitment. Rhapsody, thank you very much for the 11-month resub. Hi, Hazel. Hello. But yeah, I think I like my fish tanks. I could deal with having like a couple of different betta tanks one day, because those are, you know, fairly reasonable amount of maintenance. You can do your water changes once, maybe twice a week. That's like 5 minutes for a little tank like that. You feed them every day. You know, you stay on top of things. And once you're kind of into a rhythm and you've got your filters cycled and you've got everything balanced, it's fairly low key. And I enjoy those a lot. Or like a project like an outdoor above ground goldfish pond, or, you know, a goldfish tank. That's something I would also be interested in, but it's adjacent enough to my other interests that I would feel a little more capable at it. Have you considered chinchillas? They're adorable. I think I'm probably gonna take a pass on rodents. I do think they're very cute, but I don't think I want any for myself. And I think I'm at the same thing with reptiles as well. Reptiles are adorable. Love all the geckos, love all the snakes even. You know, the bearded dragons and the iguanas and the everything, but I don't think I want any for myself. Dan Can Do TV, thank you very much for the brand new sub. Is that how you pronounce them? I only ever heard people call them beta fish like beta. So, all right, here's the deal. The technically correct way to pronounce the fish is betta fish. It is spelled with 2 T's. It is the fish. It is not the Greek letter. It is a betta fish and not a beta fish. However, it's kind of a give-gif thing, because the people that say it is a beta fish are more numerous than the people saying it correctly. So I don't fight people over it anymore. If somebody starts calling it a beta fish to me, I don't correct them outright. I will still say it my way, but I don't outright correct them because, I don't know, I'm not going to be that person anymore. But if you want to be correct, it is a betta fish. And I will not be talked out of that because it's just true. Got him wrap with the tip. Thank you very much. Let's see what you say. Thanks for the stream. Did my last tip go through? Lost internet connectivity. Wasn't sure. If you got it, peace and love. Oh, there it is. I didn't see it either, but from about 40 minutes ago, you had a $10 tip. Thank you very much. Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. If you know the reference, gifted subs will ensue. I mean, that's just a Hobbit thing. Yeah, that's just from the Hobbit. Are you trying to say it's GIF? I'm not trying to say it's GIF, but the creator of the GIF says it's GIF. So, you know, there's a large and long-standing debate over whether or not he gets to decide that. I think that as it is a graphical, user interface? I don't know what the other 2 letters stand for, but I know the first one is graphics of some sort. Then, you know, it's graphical, not giraffical. Although giraffical sounds adorable. I'm just imagining cute giraffes. He's wrong. The creator is wrong, yeah. Lord of the Rings, close, I guess. Oh well. I mean, it's Tolkien. It's Tolkien. Go left when you enter. So the thing about going left, though, is that this door is locked, right? This door is locked. Do you keep the keys after you have gotten them the first time? What's the deal with that? Because I can't go that way. Unless you want me to go through this door, which is also locked. Or this door, which is open, but no, that one's locked too. They're all locked. Graphical interchange format. Okay. Oh yeah, GIF. I don't know why I'm thinking of GUI. GIF. Any interest in a mono design aquarium style setup? So gorgeous. I have a beautiful coffee table book of Takeshi Amano's aquarium setups. They're beautiful. They are high tech though. They involve injected CO2. They involve, you know, specific expensive substrates and microdosing fertilizers. And that's like a pretty advanced thing to get into. And it's also expensive. And something that I'm experimenting more with recently are the lower tech Wallstad style aquariums where you have a soil base and heavy planting, but no injected CO2, so that your carbon is being provided partially by the soil, and the soil is also allowing the nutrients in the water column to bind more effectively near the plant roots. There's a bunch of science around it. I'm basically just winging it. I have a tank right behind me. It's got some wisteria growing out of the back of it. It's got a bunch of plants in the middle of it, and I'm seeing how that one balances over time. Yeah, not doing a timed run. What is your favorite raid mount? Ooh. Favorite raid mount. The Ashes of Alara is quite pretty, yeah? I like that one. Isn't this the dungeon with the Jennifer secret? It is, yeah, there is, well, part of it. I don't think the whole thing is going to be in Karazhan, but part of that does happen in Karazhan. So we go down and then around. Elusive, thank you very much for the 11-month reset. GIF just sounds more pleasant. I don't know why people are so uptight about it. I'm not too fussed one way or the other. I do think it's GIF, but it's one of those things that, like, super doesn't matter. It's not an ethical problem. It's not a moral problem. I guess it's a technical correctness problem. But that, you know, it's not like it's not like anybody who wants to say GIF is melting the foundations of our noble language. They're just, and we all know what they mean, you know? I think that's something that we can all just collectively take a deep breath and let slide because there's more important problems in the world. Could you explain how legacy loot works if there's multiple people in the party? Normal for cloth wearers to get plate and such? Yes. So legacy loot just means that all of the loot that would have dropped for a full group drops for whoever is in the group. So it will no longer tailor your loot to you based on your class type. So if it's just you in there, you're going to get everything: cloth, plate, leather, mail, whatever. And I imagine if there's 2 people in there, it's going to be the same thing, except instead of one person getting it, it's going to randomly assign the items between the 2 of you. I don't know that for sure. I've never done old runs with multiple people because I'd rather just do it myself and keep everything. But that's my understanding, is that it'll still mix and match and shuffle all the loot up and then just divide it evenly in half. I pronounce it as geef. What now? Since unicorns are going to be flying in Shadowlands, I just started Battlegrounds, Honor level 2, 13 more to go for the PvP achieve. What if maybe this is the beginning of a new era for you? What if you just love it? It's kind of fun. Geef. Geef is really good. What if we all just switch to that instead? Seems to give everyone 1 to 2 items. This was a 3-person group. That sounds about right. That sounds like it's just splitting what would have dropped for the entire raid group between everybody. Because if you think of like a normal raid group, not everybody's going to get loot. You're going to get, you know, 4 to 6 pieces of loot dropping. So in 3 people, it would do that. Choosing others, choose GIF. Are we talking about the image format GUF? Run 48 for Invincible. Right. Hopefully better luck next time. What are your thoughts on the Elusive Nightmare mount and your opinion on mounts being obtained through similar means? I love it. I think it's super fun. I have the Elusive Nightmare. I enjoyed that process a fair bit. I can say that now because it was a long time ago, so I've forgotten all the pain. You ever hear that? The theory that we don't remember pain very clearly. So whenever we're looking to do something like get another tattoo or have another baby, you like don't remember how bad it was last time. Anyways, I don't remember how bad it was to get my Lucid Nightmare, which is not equivalent to having a baby, but I don't remember that. So it seems fine, worth it in hindsight. I want to do Vicious Worm at Farms, worried about plane sucking in PvP. Any advice? The best advice is to find people, and this is easier said than done, find people that are also beginners, that are also trying to grind out the vicious mount, so that you're all playing together, and you can kind of insulate yourselves from the opinions of the wider community. Because sucking is only a problem when somebody's mad at you for it, you know? Except that you're probably not going to be very good because you're brand new, and that's completely normal and it's totally fine. the only time when that would become a problem is if you told somebody you were very good and then you weren't. But as long as everybody's on the same page and expectations, then you can play, you can practice, you'll probably get better over time, and even if you don't, you'll have a good time. Definitely painful, the Lucid Nightmare, that is. Are we able to get raid mounts at the black market auction house? Some of them, yeah. I don't know if the full contingent of mounts is available on the BMAH. I don't know how many of them are. Oh, these guys. I'm lost, apparently. But there are some, yeah, for sure. I remember labor very clearly. I don't know what those people are talking about. I certainly can't speak to it. I think the Lucid Nightmare a lot. Even though the puzzle is solved, still requires individual effort because of the maze puzzle. You have to put in your own effort to get the reward, even though others did most of the work. I'm totally with you on that, actually. I think that might be part of the reason why I like it so much, is that even though I am too lazy to figure out and be the secret finding people, they have more patience than me by far. I'm so stuck here. Even though that's the case, I still, you know, made it through the maze. And because of that, I feel like I accomplished something. I don't tend to like things very much if I just got them for free. So I'd rather put in some work and then have it be like a memento of the work I put in. Is this broken? First tattoo wasn't that painful. Definitely will get more. With tattoos, it is very dependent on where you get the tattoo. My first tattoo was on my back left shoulder, and that didn't hurt at all. It was actually, it felt kind of good. It was like getting a good itch scratched. It was like a very spiky massage. It was totally fine. Back of the shoulder blade, like right on the upper level. It was a little bit twingy, like when it was on bone, but aside from that, totally fine. But then this arms are not so bad. Also, this is just broken. I don't know what to do. Arms are not so bad. This part is okay, and then like your forearm is okay. But when you get into like here, and even like the back of it, like there, that starts to hurt more. And from what I've heard, things like your feet, your ankles, your ribs, those are much, much, much more sensitive, and those will make you sad. But, you know, you only get tattooed once, and then you have it forever, so worth it. Spiky massage is a good way to put it. Tattooed across the shin bone didn't feel too good. Yeah, there's some, like right here, right on the bone that's in my elbow, that was not my favorite part. The mistake that I made with this tattoo was I got it all done in one session. It was a long, long session. It was unpleasant for both me and my tattooer, and it would have been better to schedule 2 separate sessions that were a couple hours long each, instead of just like 1 7-8 hour sitting, because your tattooist is probably going to get hand cramps and hate you, and you and your body, like your body starts producing adrenaline and probably some other stuff when you start getting tattooed, because it's like, you're being, you know, you're being injured, so it gives you drugs that essentially make you feel a little better about it, and also make you kind of heady. But you run out of those after a while. The last 2 hours of this session were miserable because you're kind of out of those chemicals that make it manageable. I guess I don't know what to do. Can I even hearth out of here? Also, I didn't change my hearthstone. That many hours, no way I could do that. It was my second tattoo, and I was kind of flying by the seat of my pants. I knew I wanted one, but I was quite young, and I have anxiety now, but I had anxiety then. So the prospect of getting a tattoo appointment, you know, I took transit to get to the tattoo place, going by myself, getting a tattoo by myself, was the most horrifying thing I could possibly think of. But I really wanted one, so I did it. But because I was so nervous and so shy, I wasn't very good at communicating with my artist, so I just kind of took the first thing that they offered. I asked for a design. It was all one appointment. The consultation of the tattoo happened in one appointment. He just kind of like free-handed on me with some Sharpie and was like, does this placement look good? And I'm like, sure. And then he just tattooed me. I didn't see it beforehand, which is not recommended. I got really lucky that I ended up liking it. There's a face, actually. There's a face right in here. You see there's like a nose and then a mouth and then an eye socket. There's like a screaming face in the roots of this thing that I did not know about until 3 years or so, years after I had the tattoo. Somebody's like, oh, that's cool, you got a face in your tree. And I'm like, what? So there was all sorts of things wrong with that situation, but I learned a little bit more from the experience, and luckily I liked the tattoo. Well, that was a waste of time at Karazhan. I don't know how I bugged that out. You don't run out, you grow resistant to them? That would make sense. I'm definitely not a doctor. I hate that operant glitch so badly. When I did, had to hearth out. Bony tattoos hurt more or fleshy tattoos hurt more? I mean, I think they both hurt. What you really want is tattoo across like a nice flat outer muscle area. You know, like your back or like your forearms and your biceps. That's fine. That's not too bad. You missed my highlighted whining about tattoo. I did. Truzal, thank you very much for the 2-month resub. Let me see. I'm scrolling. First and only tattoo is an Ouroboros around my navel. Had to sync my breathing to that tattoo. I remember at the time I put in headphones so I could listen to some music or a podcast or something while I was working on me. Wasted time at Karazhan, third Karazhan instance. True original from an artist isn't a bad thing. No, and he was a very good artist. I did do the research. I did do my research fairly well. I looked through a lot of material online before I found the place to make a tattoo with, and I had the person in mind when I made my appointment, so that was good. It was just everything else was a mess. A nerd sleeve would be cool, sleeve of all my favorite video games and books. People told me my wrist tattoo would hurt, but it didn't really bother me. Yeah, not too bad. It is about time for me. I'm going to wrap up. Let's see, do we have, oh, we have a little bit of it. We have a dog butt. We have a sleepy dog butt. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I will be back tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow's a Wednesday, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday afternoon, starting at 3 p.m. Pacific. I put out a stream highlight today of the last week's mount drop, so if you missed that, that's on YouTube now. Thank you all so much, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.